the product analytics UXPM sync for October 4th. Looking back at last week's action items, we asked Dennis to include some designs for some other transfer visibility stuff. Rob, do you want to voice over your comment there?
Yeah, I had to look at the designs. They are definitely using patterns that we could leverage in our designs if we don't want to go with the existing. It's only a slight tweak from what's already there, but it may be more clean for what we're trying to accomplish. I've linked those designs in the usage quota MVC underneath the wireframes that you did, James. So when we get to the stage that either me or Jan are able to start coming up with some basic design mock-ups, we can definitely use those.
Cool. I think my only ask then, because I don't really care if we squash my wireframe, is update the decision issue that we're going to follow that pattern versus the pipeline execution pattern.
Yeah, that's yes, that's fine. The issues under that usage MVC already have some clip or screenshots of existing patterns as well. So yeah, we were going to take your this wireframes with a grain of salt anyway, James.
Cool.
Take the functionality out of it essentially.
That's the best you could hope for when product starts doing wireframes. Awesome. All right, it sounds like there was another topic then if it wraps up there.
Yeah, I guess do you want to talk about what you've come here for? Not saying we don't enjoy your presence.
Yeah, I had one. I was thinking about one idea, but actually now I don't think that we need to investigate that. So I was just thinking if in the dashboards list page, if that's actually okay to list also the dashboards which don't have any data, because currently we don't check it was just to simplify the backend a bit, that we don't need to check the data from the cube. But after checking a bit more, I realized that will change our onboarding flow. So I think I think we should not make any changes.
Yeah, so checking for data is acting like a proxy for they've set up the instrumentation correctly, and they've set everything up and it's ready to go. Because we're relying on the collector to to prove that they've put the right details into their implementation. We don't have any kind of flag in our system to say they've done that other than data exists, unfortunately. Yeah, because it's external code. So that's why it's made. That's why we've done it that way. It's not elegant, but it's functional.
Yeah, and custom dashboards will continue to list, even though it's technically possible to create a custom dashboard that queries product analytics before it has any data or has been set up. But that's a bridge that I think we can cross when we get there, since that feels like quite an edge case for someone to have done that. They would have needed to already, I feel like, be familiar with product analytics in any way.
Or at least Optimizer's work needs to be a lot more further down the road for that to become a considerable concern for us. Is just to check, I assume, hello, this is in reference to your work with separating product analytics out of the GraphQL logic.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. So when people have I mean, the value stream dashboard is not really related to product analytics dashboard, but it's at the same page. So now we don't really call backend when we are on the product analytics list page if it's not onboarded. But now we will need to call because in order to fetch the value stream dashboards. So I was thinking if I should avoid checking for the cube query at first, but yeah, as I said, that's at least for now we can keep it as is.
I mean, The only other way you could implement it as a backend from backend point of view is we've got the onboarding, we've got the workers, so we could have a database flag to flip on as soon as we start getting data for the implementation, and then we just check for that flag, whether that flag exists in our backend system, and just use a background worker to run queries, that query every 30 seconds or 10 seconds, however long we want, which would, I guess, be simpler, but requires more refactoring work on your part. So I guess that's a choice between you, Max, and James on that one.
Yeah, I think as a first start would be like probably the best is to keep the current functionality, and then we may need to like refactor later.
Okay, well, I appreciate you bringing the question to us. From a UX point of view, I think it's fine for now. And we can always, if it's a performance impact for us or other groups, then we can look at that again in future. One thing I would quickly say, Jokes, I don't think we've got really much more to discuss. Just design decisions. I build out the general rough outline of the visualization designer section of the design decisions so far. I don't know if we want to add any more info. I've kept it fairly light and straightforward. Obviously, as new decisions are made, we can add new comments to that section with additional data. I don't know. I need to continue adding more. It's just I've not had a lot of time over the last week. But if anyone else wants to start adding, feel free. Just linking epics and issues and where we started and where we're going to for now. Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants me to add additional information as well to that section or flesh it out in any more detail either. So feel free to ask.
I'll take a peek and tag you if I have any questions, but I bet it will be fine. I'm going to jump back up into results of research. I shared yesterday a Dovetail project with some insights. It was a rehash of insights that I've already shared with the team in our opportunity solution tree. So Rob, I noted that I can share those insights to everyone and make them viewers. Otherwise, you'd have to put in an access request for Dovetail. Generally, the tact that we've been taking is try to share any customer interviews also as a private YouTube video, and then share any insights in other ways as well, so that y'all don't have to manage yet another access request and login, and we can save on the seats. So that was more for our UX counterparts than for the team specifically. But I commented back into that Slack thread with roughly the same. So I'll make sure that I'm sharing things with the team more broadly in ways that are easier to access, and probably multiple modes of communication for the same insights. And hopefully try to clarify this is the same insight that you got already in a different way, so it doesn't feel like you're getting a bunch of different things that are conflicting over time.
Okay, that's absolutely fine. Yeah, I guess my main thing was whether, as for me and Jan, as acting UX capacity for now, at least, whether we needed that Dovetail access or not. But if it's being provided in ways that is more accessible to the wider team, then we can just leverage that instead.
Yeah, we'll try to keep doing that. Awesome. Anything else then for our agenda today?
I guess generally, in terms of product priorities, obviously we've got custom events being discussed, getting people's input on that. We've got usage, and that's going to eventually need some UX input. At least my UX hat being on. And then we've got usage quotes for MVC. Prioritization wise, are they of equal priority? One more than the other? I just wanted to get a rough idea of, if we get clashes, which one should we be focusing on more?
Yeah, we've already got the usage quota stuff scheduled and is ready to go. I'd rather see that worked on first from a priority perspective, because it helps unlock future other fulfillment work. And it gives us a nice place for our beta users to look at how many events are we sending. And then they can see how that changes over time if they instrument more events once we give them the ability to query them. So that's why I would prioritize those in that order and what that priority would be.
Okay, great. Thank you for the clarification.
Yeah. If you want me to document that somewhere, I'm certainly happy to, just to make sure it's more broadly known.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of where that's less emphoral than Slack. I guess maybe the 16.6 planning issue, since that's the milestone coming up.
Yeah, I think I'll make sure that if both are mentioned, that priority is called out and why in that 16.6 planning issue. I'm looking at that later today anyway, so I will do that.
Okay, cool.
Sweet. All right. I'll just add it up myself here. Everything's otherwise, y'all. What I missed the last 2 days.
Not a lot. I can think. Oh, you will see that delimiters. There's now delimiters on single stats. That's hit production.
Yeah.
And Dennis has made 2 issues to add the same locale functionality to tables and graph tooltips as well.
Nice.
Next step, I'd really like us to, as a couple of milestones, I guess, down the line due to priorities, take on what Jan suggested before about adding some single stats don't need the full number. So we could shorten it down to be, 16K instead of 16,000 and make it a bit nicer. And adding units would be a useful, very nice thing to do.
Adding units and adding, for me, adding units and adding a comparison, I think would be really nice to say how this compares to, like, from a time perspective, how it's changed. Or the other thing that we've been talking about is adding a calculation of I've got 2 single stats. This over this, what is the what's the calculation of that? Like, I think we have a sessions per user already, but being able to build stats like that in Visualization Designer, I think is going to be a good thing for us to be able to do. The first use case that comes to mind is Lee's GDK update start over end, or end over start, I guess it would be, to figure out a percentage. So that would be a good one once we get there, but that's after custom events anyway, so that's a ways out.
Phil, anyway, I was looking at this for custom events around comparison. So in Cube, this is called data blending. And essentially you just send an array of queries rather than a single query, and it does it all magically for you. From a technical point of view, front end would be able to handle this because we already support this sort of data blending in various different charts like line charts and bars, etc. Not sure about how single stat would have to modify that, but from a back end point of view, right now the load Cube proxy only accepts an object. Well, no, wait. Yes, it only accepts an object because of the with fill logic that we currently got embedded. So we would need to modify that, or hopefully Cube will finally sort out this modifier and I can delete the entire chunk of code.
Okay, cool, good to know. There's some limitations there.
Going back to what was mentioned about single stat units, I'm not clear on specifically what that means.
Should we take a look at Dennis's issue that he opened? Or issues?
Units, I can't remember where that issue is.
Trying to find where did, there we go, there's the thread. Oh no, he opened delimiters on the table, and this is the tooltip.
Yeah, but I know we have had a units issue. I swear we have before because it's been raised before. I just can't remember where.
Can you give me an example of like what a unit would be?
Yeah, for instance, seconds within session duration.
Oh, that's
an example.
actually something that's currently supported, because I mean, you can add it as an option.
Yeah, we just don't currently pass that option. It's not unsupported. When I was talking about unsupported, I meant the comparison thing, being able to compare two values within a single stat in some visual way.
Okay, I'm not sure I follow, because like on our audience dashboard, we do display like minutes for the average session duration, for example. So I'm just trying to like understand like how the units that we're discussing now differs from that.
Bringing up a dashboard.
Wait, I can quickly also share my screen since
Oh,
I have
come
it.
on. It's the last thing spinning. Okay, so we show minutes there.
Yeah, and we have like percentage for users returned. This is an option on single stats that is currently accepted in red. So yeah, what I understood like the next version of this to be is to add like symbols to chop off like 1,000 or 1,000,000, for example. So we add like 100K, 2,000,000, stuff like that to keep this shorter, and provide that as an option also for users to enable on single stats. But by default, that we just keep on displaying the full value with the delimiters to make it easy to read.
Well, I'm the one who wrote the issue. I found it.
Okay, great.
It's
Let me.
product analytics, single stat enhancement. That's a couple of things that are all chunked together, which
I see.
I'll start breaking those out. And the example for the units for time-related stats, like session length, the view I added was of that behavior dashboard, not the audience dashboard. The audience dashboard, yeah, I see minutes there. So I can just erase that one for now, unless we find, or I can dig through and see if there's some other examples of where we would want to add a unit for a single stat. I think that comes with custom events where we don't know if it's a time-based thing where we've not already built the visualization. So as long as we've got the existing visualizations covered, we should be good until then.
Okay, great. So it seems like we have manual units covered, and then we
I
can
think so.
do
Yeah,
some
I'll
automated stuff, or also make it an option in the designer in the future.
yeah, I'll make a to-do to go review this issue, check off what's already done, and break out new issues for the rest of the list, since we're starting to work on it a bit. Awesome. All right, anything else today, y'all? Fantastic. Thanks for catching me up and all the great work so far. I appreciate it and the discussion.
Yeah, thanks everyone. See you later.
Cheers.